तो सीएस की एंट्री कब हुई मतलब यहाँ पे?
So Satyam was one of the biggest one, and it is a longest, and everybody knows that how important it was for the
डेफिनेटली।
IT industry. Its own survival and country's image was at stake
उन
if Satyam was not
हाँ,
successful.
फिर आपको सब कंट्री जाने का मौका मिला होगा ना?
हाँ, वर्चुअली जाने का मिला है। कुछ कंट्री में फिजिकली भी गए।
इतने, एक तो 1 मिलियन शेयर होल्डर्स प्लस है, आप उसमें भी ब्रांड एम्बेसडर, कैसे पॉसिबल है ना? आप कितना कैसे मैनेज करते थे? आई मीन वो जो आपने कहा पर्सनल टच, यू वर्किंग इन द आईटी इंडस्ट्री, यू मस्ट बी सो वेल वर्स्ड विद एआई। गाइस, व्हाट इफ मैं आपसे कहूँ कि देयर इज अ पर्सन विद 0 हेटर्स, एंड दैट टू ही इज फ्रॉम अवर सीएस फ्रेटर्निटी, ही इज द मोस्ट लव्ड सीएस, सीएस अनिल खत्री सर। ये मैं नहीं बोल रही हूँ, ये पब्लिक बोल रही है, बिकॉज ही इज लव्ड बाय द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, ही इज लव्ड बाय द शेयर होल्डर्स ऑफ द कंपनी, ही इज लव्ड बाय द सीनियर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द कंपनी। ऐसा क्या राज है कि सब कोई इन्हें पसंद करता है? अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, रेगुलेटर्स आल्सो रिस्पेक्ट हिम, ऑडिटर्स आल्सो लव हिम। सो ये एक सीएस के लिए बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। ये सब जानने के लिए मैंने उन्हें इनवाइट किया हमारे पॉडकास्ट में, एंड तब मुझे पता चला कि इनकी जर्नी बिल्कुल भी स्मूथ नहीं रही है। बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस इन्होंने फेस किए हैं, मल्टीपल अटेम्प्ट्स इन्होंने भी गो थ्रू किए हैं, बट उसके बावजूद इन्होंने मल्टीपल इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करा है एज ए सीएस। इन्हें 4 डिकेड्स का, मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 40 साल तक का एक्सपीरियंस है एज ए सीएस, एंड करेंटली उनका सुपर एनुएशन हुआ था फ्रॉम टेक महिंद्रा, फ्रॉम द पोजीशन ऑफ चीफ कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, कंप्लायंस ऑफिसर and vice president. But guys, he's still full of energy. You are going to love this podcast. You are going to learn so much from this podcast. Watch till end. Sir, thank you so much for joining this podcast. I am very much sure कि बच्चों को बहुत हेल्प होने वाली है इस पॉडकास्ट के थ्रू, एंड आपसे मिलके मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा था। तो आपका सब कुछ जानना है हमें कि आपका चाइल्डहुड जर्नी क्या था, आप इतने बड़े कंपनी के सीएस कैसे बने, बच्चों को क्या गाइड करना चाहते हो। सो वी विल टेक मच ऑफ योर टाइम, ठीक है? सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद अवर बेसिक क्वेश्चन जो मैं हर गेस्ट से पूछती हूँ कि आपने सीएस तो एक क्यों सिलेक्ट किया, एंड आपका चाइल्डहुड जर्नी क्या था, बैकग्राउंड क्या था?
Thank you, Neha, for having me here. It's an honor and privilege, and I'm really, very happy to see that you are doing all this for budding professionals.
Yes.
And I'm sure the CS students, not only CS students, but many professionals, whether it is CHW or whichever professional, it must be helpful for them.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure. So, to your question about how I started my journey, so uh, I'm a person from Bhusawal. I'm born and brought up in Bhusawal, a small town in Bhusawal,
Oh,
which is in Jalgaon district, and it is one of the biggest railway junction of India, and it has a railway yard which is the biggest in Asia. So I belong to
wow.
that town, and from
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra, and I belong to a very humble family. So that's my starting.
Mm-hmm.
I did my BCom from it is graduation from Bhusawal,
Okay.
and from there, post that, I came to Pune. Yeah,
Pune.
yeah. And just to tell you one more thing of Bhusawal is that I have did my schooling in St. Aloysius School,
Okay.
and incidentally, the school is celebrating 150 years this year of its
Wow.
existence, and even today it is one of the best school in Jalgaon area. So,
Wow.
and we just had a reunion, so therefore I thought I'll just
That's great.
yeah. So those are Bhusawal memories. From there, I came to Pune. I did my MCom from Neswadia College,
Wow.
and of course, one of the thing for doing that was also I got a hostel, so the place where I can
आजादी मिले.
yes, where I can stay.
Oh.
So I did my MCom.
स्टे के लिए आपने एमकॉम कर लिया?
हाँ, नहीं MCom करना ही था, but
अच्छा.
हॉस्टल भी मिल गया तो बढ़िया हो गया.
Okay.
And from there, after MCom, I joined LL.B. I had chosen ILS Law College,
Oh,
which is one of the good
renowned
college, renowned
college.
college of Pune University.
Hmm.
So again, there also I was privileged to get the hostel. So
Wow.
all the 3 years, it was fun, a fantastic facility of that college.
Like आपने पूरा enjoy किया hostel में.
Yes, yes, 100%. All the
Wow.
hostelites used to wait for me because I was working even there. Uh,
अच्छा.
yeah, I used to leave my room at 7 o'clock in the morning and come back 6 or 7 in the evening. And
Oh.
only during some important lectures, I would ensure that I attend that. Rest of the thing, professors were helpful for me.
वाओ, मतलब अब तब से काम कर रहे हो.
हाँ जी.
तो सीएस की एंट्री कब हुई मतलब यहाँ पे?
So, along with LLB, I also started my company secretary course.
ओके.
So, why your question was why I have chosen CS? The reason is that I was not so good in maths as many CS are there. So, I have chosen CS for that. So, there were only three options in those days. Like, you'll have either CA, ICWA, or CS. So, CA had accountancy and lot of maths.
जो होगा नहीं.
Yeah. And ICW had costing, which again had standard costing, marginal costing, etc. So, and I was more tuned towards law. So, therefore, I have chosen CS.
And I think it's the best decision for you, right?
Yes, yes. I don't regret at all.
Wow.
And I would say that come what may, a
Oh.
person or a student should not drop out of CS course. It may take time for some people, but one shouldn't. Quitting is very easy, but staying on course is a
As we
good
can
thing.
see the live example, I think sir आपको भी multiple attempts go through करने पड़े होंगे.
Yeah, that's a fact. And the reason is that I was throughout working and the leaves issue would be there. Sometimes you have your own commitments. And so, but in spite of that, I did my CS and I'm proud of that and happy for that.
And you are getting the results, fruits of that till now. मतलब I think इसमें मैं बस बच्चों को ये बोलना चाहूंगी कि सर को भी काफी अटेम्प्ट लग गए थे, सर के पास भी उस टाइम पर ऑप्शन था कि वो गिव अप कर ले क्योंकि ही वाज वर्किंग, बट ही न्यू द वैल्यू ऑफ सीएस एंड यू कैन सी दैट कितना अच्छा रिजल्ट होता है सीएस गो थ्रू करने का. तो अगर आप सोच रहे हो गिव अप करने का तो दिस इज अ साइन दैट डोंट गिव अप एंड कंटिन्यू योर सीएस. नाउ सर कमिंग टू अवर सेकंड क्वेश्चन, जो मुझे भी बहुत क्यूरियोसिटी है जानने की कि आपके क्या की माइलस्टोन्स रहे हैं थ्रू आउट द जर्नी, एंड आई वुड रियली लाइक टू नो कि एक नॉर्मल सीएस से लेके आप चीफ कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, कंप्लायंस ऑफिसर, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ टेक महिंद्रा कैसे बने, क्या जर्नी थी?
So the journey is of 39 years.
ओ माय गॉड.
So it all started. My first job was in a small scale unit, which was at a place called Bhosri in Pune. So when I said that I was working when I was in law college, so I used to morning go to that place and evening come back. Of course, I was there for 2 years. I was more into it was a multiple role like accounts help,
ओके
compliance
ओके.
help, audit help, all that. So from there, I joined another company called Desai Brothers.
बीडी बनाने वाली.
Yes, but वहाँ भी काफी compliance और काफी कुछ था.
बीडी
और
में भी कंप्लाइंस
yes होता है ना, ज्यादा
फाइलिंग करनी पड़ती है क्या?
फाइलिंग करती है, फिर लेबर्स रिलेटेड यू आर नॉट
फैक्ट्रीज एक्ट.
फैक्ट्रीज एक्ट और सब होता है.
वाओ.
एंड बीडी इज इंजूरियस, स्मोकिंग इज इंजूरियस टू हेल्थ.
सर आपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देखी है बीड़ी की
हाँ
मतलब?
जी, हाँ जी, देखिए.
किससे बनती है?
बीड़ी तेंदुलीव पत्ते से बनती है.
अच्छा.
एंड साल में एक बार उसका परचेसिंग होता है.
ओ, एक
या
ही बार?
या और वो साल भर फिर वो पत्ता चलता है. ऑफ कोर्स आई वाज नॉट इनटू दैट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. वो मेरा जॉब नहीं था वो. सो
ओके.
so from there I went to a company called Global Times, which was into wristwatch. cases manufacture, and it was a new concept, and it was of course coming for with an IPO, and that was the whole thing to join that company.
Hmm.
So I was there for more than 2.5 years there, and it was an interesting journey preparing all the files for the IPO, and it was on OTT platform.
Okay.
But somehow the IPO also came, but it was not that successful because OTT itself was new.
Hmm.
And thereafter, I joined the Seamless Group, where I was almost 13 plus years. And
Oh.
Seamless Group was into steel manufacturing, seamless tubes manufacturing, then
Hmm.
aeronautics. So it was multiple things.
Hmm.
And whatever CS related thing is there, it all started in Seamless Group, and it was
Oh.
I, it was really a very exciting journey and full of learning and unlearning.
BD unlearning and yeah.
And from there, of course, after that, I had joined another company which was coming with an IPO,
Hmm.
and somehow it didn't work. And then I joined KPIT Communications.
Oh.
In those days, it was KPIT Cummins, and that's how I stepped into IT industry.
Hmm.
And I had the connect with the likes of Ravi Pandit, Anil Patwardhan, who are the key people, Kishore Patel.
Wow, sir.
So it was a good learning.
Being
And
a CS gives you so much opportunities.
yeah, how to deal with directors and all that, I started to know
Hmm.
much better there.
Oh.
And from there, I joined Tech Mahindra.
Okay.
Uh,
So
so,
you gave a proper interview कि networking के through हुआ.
so Tech Mahindra senior management wanted me to be there for some reason because they thought that KPIT has excellent processes, and also a word was
Wow.
passed, and then uh, I, I was approached, and that's how I had an opportunity joining Tech.
कर्मों का फल मतलब भले कोई ना देखे तो भी हमें अच्छा काम करते रहना है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
वाओ सर.
और वो बिल्कुल मिलता है.
लाइव एग्जांपल.
Yes.
एंड देन देयर इज नो गोइंग बैक. फिर आप टेक महिंद्रा के साथ 14 इयर्स तक कुछ जुड़े हुए थे,
हाँ
राइट?
जी, हाँ जी. सो इन दिस जर्नी में इन टेक महिंद्रा, द फर्स्ट माय करियर ग्राफ जो था वो सत्यम वाज एक्वायर्ड बाय टेक महिंद्रा
सर
इन
उसका तो हम
2009.
पढ़ते हैं केस स्टडी.
और उसका मर्जर आई हैव हैंडल्ड सो फार मोर देन अ डजन मर्जर्स in high courts or NCLT, etc. so far. So Satyam was one of the biggest one, and it is a longest, and everybody knows that how important it was for the
डेफिनेटली.
IT industry. Its own survival and country's image was at stake
उन
if Satyam was not
हाँ.
successful. Satyam turnaround, not Satyam, I would say. Satyam had a different story, but its turnaround, if was not successful, then it would have been a
एक्चुअली
big blot for the
उसके
IT
बाद
industry.
से ही आई थिंक एक्ट एंड वो सब में बहुत चेंजेस आए.
Yes. So with Satyam, lots of amendments came on relating to governance and everything. And also in the course of time, I have handled or been part of more than 2 dozen acquisitions
वो.
across the globe.
वाओ.
And once you have so many acquisitions, you will have number of entities or subsidiaries also increasing for the company. So how nobody can afford to have large number of entities because it has compliance cost, it has the brand, the goodwill may get affected if there is some non-compliance or anything. So then rationalization of those entities
Is to
acquired.
close it.
Yeah. So rationalization is either you merge, liquidate, or somehow close it if you have more than one entity in a geography. So Tech Mahindra's presence was in more than 90 countries. Today, of course, it is in more than 100 countries. So
सर आपको सब कंट्री जाने का मौका मिला होगा ना?
हाँ, वर्चुअली जाने का मिला है. कुछ कंट्री में फिजिकली भी गए बट वर्चुअली ज्यादा.
ग्रेट यार, आई मीन डजन्स ऑफ एक्विजिशंस एंड ऑल. ये बस हम मॉड्यूल्स में पढ़ते हैं
या
कि ऐसा एप्लीकेशन आएगा, एनसीएलटी में हम अप्लाई करेंगे, एनसीएलटी अप्रूवल देगा, स्कीम ऑफ मर्जर होगा,
या
वैल्यूएशन होगा.
यस
एंड यू हैव गॉन थ्रू ऑल दिस
यस
dozens time.
dozens time 2 dozen times. And closure of entity, as I said, in last 7 years, recently we have closed more than 150 subsidiaries, merged or liquidated.
Oh,
So today we have around 170 subsidiaries of Tech Mahindra. If those were not closed, imagine it would be 320 plus subsidiaries.
बाप रे.
So that was all learning and unlearning.
A lot of key milestones you have
Yeah.
achieved.
And of course setting lots of processes, like process for insider trading, process for ESOPs, process for your register and transfer agents, because you have 1 million shareholders, so you can't have loose ends.
Talking about shareholders, I've read your LinkedIn post जहाँ पे किसी ने mention किया था कि you are the brand, of shareholders, brand ambassador of shareholders. So sir, इतने, एक तो 1 million shareholders plus है, आप उसमें भी brand ambassador कैसे possible है ना? आप कितना कैसे manage करते थे?
So my फंडा ऑफ लाइफ इज कि किसी को भी कमोडिटी बोल के ट्रीट मत करो.
Okay.
You be in touch with the shareholder, however small he or she is.
Okay.
Try to help him or her in her difficulties. कोई कंप्लेंट है जो रिजॉल्व नहीं हुआ है या कुछ बात है, तो help them out and be in touch with them.
Millions.
Yes, and not everybody you can be in touch, but majority of them. And the FIs, of course, there is no go. You have to be in touch with the FIs, financial institution investors, and of course mutual funds and others. So if you take care of your shareholders, they will take care of you at difficult times for the company. Like for example, if the company is coming up with an IPO or follow offer, so you have to finally approach to the shareholders.
Definitely.
So I also remember during COVID times or pandemic times, there was lot of insecurity around the world. And of course our team, secretarial team, most of the time was working from office, but about 1.5 2 months we worked from home because that was compulsory lockdown. So during those days it just struck to me that why not make few calls to some known shareholders. And they said कि आप फर्स्ट कंपनी सेक्रेटरी है जो हमको कॉल किया और बिना कोई काम के, एंड दे फेल्ट वेरी गुड. एवरीबडी वांटेड टू टॉक, बी इन टच. सो ये सारी बातें मायने रखती है. इट इज नॉट ओनली वर्क 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 बट ह्यूमन टच and how you treat the shareholders, how you help them. Like some senior citizen shareholders are there, if you help them in IPF, investor education process, जो है जहाँ पर शेयर ट्रांसफर हो जाते हैं, डिविडेंड ट्रांसफर, एंड इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम टू कंप्लाई ऑल दैट विद इन 30 days. So if you help them, all those things matter.
I mean, वो जो आपने कहा पर्सनल टच, you working in the IT industry, you must be so well versed with AI, बट वो AI वो पर्सनल टच दे ही नहीं सकता. इसलिए बच्चों को डाउट आता है कि थ्रेट है AI, हमारे कंप्लाइंस को सिनोनिमम हो जाएगा, हमारा काम चला जाएगा, AI आ जाएगा. बट वो पर्सनल टच आई डोंट थिंक AI दे पाएगा,
कभी नहीं दे पाएगा. और आज तक तो AI has not been able to replace a company secretary, and I don't think वो होगा भी, because AI goes with past data. It can paraphrase, it can give you good language, but at the end of the day you have to feed the data for that also to come out. So company secretary will not become redundant anytime.
एंड दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम समवन जो टेक इंडस्ट्री में इतने टाइम से काम कर रहा है. तो नो थ्रेट.
No threat. In fact, if you have seen how we have evolved, कि earlier it used to be physical transfer,
हाँ, करेक्ट.
and then demat came.
हम्म.
So there was a talk of the town कि all these people who were handling transfers, they will lose their jobs.
ओह.
They
हाँ
will be out of
हाँ.
office, all that. But it has not happened. They have learned
हम्म.
new skills, and they are still there in the secretarial department.
ट्रू ट्रू
So
ट्रू.
it's not going to happen that AI or automation will kill the jobs.
That's
There will be
great.
many new opportunities. One has to keep the eyes and ears open. That's it.
Hmm. That's true. Uh, but sir, like अभी Tech Mahindra is such a big company, and समझो जो बच्चे हमें देख रहे हैं, in future they want to work with such big listed companies. तो आप being the head CS, being the chief company secretary, कैसे बच्चों को प्रेफर करते हो कि this candidate का CV मैं लूंगा and मैं इसको प्रेफर करूंगा and इसको मैं नहीं करूंगा?
So one is that academically, no doubt, a candidate has to be sound.
Okay,
That
but
is a given. But apart from that, I look for a candidate who can work in the team, who can be better than me
oh,
over a period of time at least, and who can help the company. Candidate, he or she should have fire in the belly.
जज्बा होना चाहिए.
जज्बा होना चाहिए, और जिगर होना चाहिए काम करने का,
Oh.
and the confidence.
Hmm.
So, and person who can work with the team cross functions, who can जैसा मैंने बोला कि we have so many functions like
Hmm.
ESOP है, PI, insider trading है, RTA register and transfer agent का
Hmm.
function है,
Hmm.
stock exchange filings है. So a variety of things person should be able to do, and perseverance होना चाहिए उसमें, पेशेंस होना चाहिए. ये नहीं होता कि आप CS पास हुए और 2 साल में आप कंपनी सेक्रेटरी हो जाएंगे.
हाँ.
सो ऐसा नहीं होता है, बिकॉज द मैनेजमेंट इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग फॉर एक्सपीरियंस एंड डेप्थ. तो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वो पक्का आता है, बट यू शुड हैव परसिवरेंस एंड पेशेंस एंड नो द जॉब.
ओह.
कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बहुत अच्छी होनी चाहिए कैंडिडेट की, रिटन
अच्छा.
एज वेल एज ओरल.
हम्म.
एंड बंदे का या बंदी का, दे शुड बी इवन फोकसिंग ऑन देयर पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट.
हम्म.
What I have seen that our students are glued to the study, and they have some of them have glasses like soda water. Some of them don't care about their health at all.
ओह.
And imagine a person who would be at a later date sitting in the boardroom with directors. How would you like to see him, or you yourself will like to see? So all that should the person should look into it. कि no doubt your education and everything is important, but so is your personality as well, and you should nurture your hobbies. So multifaceted होना चाहिए.
ओके.
That's the thing, and that's what we look into the candidate.
हम्म. मैं भी ये नॉलेज अभी वो कर रही हूँ, ग्रास्प कर रही हूँ कि काफी कुछ कहा आपने जो स्किल्स बच्चों में होनी चाहिए एंड जो नहीं है, एंड द पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट वाला पार्ट विच आई एग्री. सीएस बच्चों को करना चाहिए थोड़ा सा पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट. वो सिर्फ पढ़ने में रह जाता है, टाइम ही नहीं मिलता. बट या, सो दैट्स इट. एंड सर, सीवी में लाइक आप कुछ प्रेफरेंस देखते हो कि ये सीवी बेटर है, ये सीवी नहीं है बेटर?
Obviously देखते हैं कि suppose I am looking for a person who would be doing say stock exchange and MCA filing and insider trading. So he or she has that experience, relevant experience or no,
ओह.
has handled that or no.
ओह.
So that of course we'll look into it. But
अच्छा, जो लिखा है वो सच होना चाहिए.
लिखा हो सच होना चाहिए, and at the time of interview, see in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, nobody, you cannot scan the person, whoever he or she is. But वो बोलते हैं ना, वो शाहरुख खान की एक मूवी थी हॉकी वाली, हॉकी फिल्म
हाँ
वाली.
हाँ हाँ.
So he keeps on saying in that कि वो 30 minutes, वो 30 minutes.
Yes,
how
yes,
how
yes.
you fight in that 30 minutes, how you organize yourself. So
हाँ.
that should come out from the person.
Oh.
Chak de India. That
उतना
was,
ही टाइम है, उतने में हमें दिखा
yes,
देना है अपना.
everybody has same time. So how you can do better. So
करेक्ट. तो सर आई थिंक बच्चों को तो इसमें आइडिया लग गया होगा, बट आपने एज अ चीफ कंपनी सेक्रेटरी ऑफ टेक महिंद्रा, कंप्लायंस ऑफिसर, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, कुछ एक ऐसा बड़ा चैलेंज आपको याद आ रहा है कि आपने फेस किया और उसको टैकल भी किया?
बहुत सारे हैं challenges, तो बहुत सारे हैं. For example, मेरा जर्नी जो चालू हुआ टेकम में, that is with सत्यम merger.
ओह हाँ.
So from day one, and I love challenges.
ओके.
So that was a longest fought battle in the courts from the other side as well. और आज भी, and of course after 2-3 years we acquired in 2009, and we filed for the merger of Satyam with Tech Mahindra along with 2-3 other subsidiaries
ओके.
somewhere in 2010-11. But it took 3 years. But that also gave an opportunity to Techem management to nurture the Satyam, employees, senior management. All of them are really very good people,
अच्छा.
and they had excellent clientele. Somewhere something went wrong.
वही तो, कैसा लग तो नहीं रहा था बाहर
Yeah.
की.
So otherwise, the company is very good. The professionals are excellent, and that's the reason our people could turn it around in less than 2 years' time. From a loss-making company, we made it a profit-making company. So, of course, my role was merger, so which we successfully did. That was one. Then, as I said earlier, I was also part of more than 2 dozen acquisitions.
Yes, yes.
Because for a company to grow, it needs to acquire businesses. Everything organic may be difficult. So I was part of more than 2 dozen acquisitions. And with acquisition, as I said earlier, you have large number of entities. So
Challenges.
challenges, their compliance, then how to, structure it, integrate it. Integration of the entities was one of the big tasks in acquisition. That how you integrate those entities in your culture, in your style of thing, and in your process, with your time frame, everything, with your business.
Wow.
So integration is equally important.
Hmm.
So that is another thing.
बट सर, ये जो सत्यम केस है, इसमें डिफेमेशन भी तो फेस किया होगा ना सर?
Defamation हम लोग ने नहीं किया. That was for Ramlingam Raju and others.
ओके.
So we though had our intent. When I say our, means Mahindra's intent was to, you know, uh, ensure that the IT industry of the country does not get a blot. It's the biggest revenue earner, foreign exchange revenue earner for the country. And if this was a blot, then there would be a serious problem for the jobs and for the revenue earning and for the country as well. So they took this as a challenge and they turned it around.
Wow. Live example of accepting challenges and
Yes.
working things. It's great. तो सर लाइक अभी आप सुपर एनवेटेड हो चुके हो, एंड आपको इतने साल का 39 इयर्स ऑफ का एक्सपीरियंस है, जहाँ पे आपने सीएस को देखा है, पहले कैसा था, बाद में कैसा था. 1956 एक्ट आपने पढ़ा होगा,
Yeah.
2013 पढ़ा होगा. तो इवॉल्विंग कुछ हुआ है सीएस, एंड कितना हुआ है इवॉल्व, और आगे कितना होगा?
CS बहुत इवॉल्व हुआ है. कंपनी सेक्रेटरी रोल हैज इवॉल्व्ड अ लॉट. So as you rightly said, 1956 Act था, which we kept on studying or looking into till 2013. Then 2013 में the new Companies Act came. Of course, it was brought in a little hurry, I would say, and drafting challenges were there. So therefore, lots of amendments
coming up.
were coming up. So that was a challenge, which was to happen even otherwise, because the thought process then and now was different. Similarly, earlier we had listing agreement. So in 2015, the list LODR came, that is listing obligation and disclosure requirements. So वो change है. So
सब
and
कुछ देखा है आपने.
yeah, and thereafter you also have, you know, olden days में what we used to do, we used to do facts.
हाँ हाँ हाँ
The
हाँ.
results were faxed. Facts चलते नहीं थे. After board meeting, within the thin timeline, you have to do all this. All those
Yeah.
things have gone now. Now it is through
Digital.
mails, PDF, and XBRL. So XBRL format में you have to file the results, and you have a window of 30 minutes only. Of course, there is an amendment coming up which will now give 3 years down the line, but it is not yet notified. So within 30 minutes, you have to do the filing. So it's a challenging job. And with automation, many things have changed. Like, for example, the CS or company secretary or the management would like to have a boardroom portal wherein all the data presentations are shared on boardroom portal, because on the mails it is not so safe.
Transparent, हाँ.
Not so safe. If the server is hacked, then all the important data can go. So boardroom portal wherein it will be only restricted with the directors and
And it
senior
will be
management.
mandatory.
Not
Boardroom.
not mandatory for select corporates, they opt for this. And for
Oh.
the directors also it becomes easy. Otherwise, mails, every director must be getting hundreds of mail daily. So here it becomes, you know, focused, that company-wise boardroom portal. That is one. Two is that how you had asked that how it has changed the graph of the company secretary or the study or the process. So you also have seen that automation, due to automation, MCA, there is a lot of automation has happened, as I mentioned. SEBI stock exchange, lot of automation has happened. So with this automation, things have speeded up. But then to learn the systems and processes, that is a challenge also for a CS, the which one has to acquaint himself or herself. And then you also have to see that the processes are found for example, insider trading. It's a for a large company, there are so many things which insider trading has to cover, so that the designated person interest, the company's interest is protected. So how you guard that? So you have a system and processes for that. That has to be learned. You, if the company has ESOPs, grant of ESOPs and exercise of ESOP, so that also there has to needs to be a systems and processes, because ESOPs are generally granted to senior management. So obviously it is very sensitive, and how you can, you know, keep it confidential, because it's part of the CTC and salary. So that is there. Then the new challenge which has come these days is related party transaction, and which is not easy even for finance team to monitor so many related parties. So having a structure for that, making a system processes, so that life become easy for the finance team as well as secretarial team and the board. And as we all know that we need to take audit committee's prior approval for anything. So
Omnibus approval.
so with systems and process, that would help. Similarly, if you have large number of shareholder base, then what systems and processes? So these are the challenges, and you know, which a modern day company secretary has, and the function has evolved.
आगे भी like now there are currently I think approximately 2 lakh CS in the industry, and now the demand is raising like anything. That's why ये हमने हमने पढ़ा था न्यूज में कि अभी काफी डिमांड सीएस की बढ़ रही है, काफी सारे इंडस्ट्रीज सीएस डिमांड कर रहे हैं and उतने सीएस है नहीं. तो दिस इज अ ग्रीन साइन कि सीएस की डिमांड एंड स्कोप इज गोइंग टू ग्रो.
Absolutely. And when we say CS, it is not, you know, one should be, I would say, the students or the freshers who join the company. It's not that overnight you will get the responsibilities. You have to be in that. There has to be patience, perseverance, learning. These days, what I see is that the new generation, they are a bit impatient.
You won't believe sir, but जैसे मैंने जॉब स्टार्ट की थी they were like दीदी आपका केबिन कहाँ पर है. तो
हाँ,
आई वाज लाइक ऑफिस में डे 1 है सीएस इट्स आई वाज जस्ट असिस्टेंट सीएस उनको केबिन नहीं मिलता है सो दे गेट डिसअपॉइंटेड
yeah,
कि तो मैं सीएस क्यों करूं
yeah.
हमें इतना वेट करना पड़ेगा
So overnight नहीं होता है. There has to be patience, perseverance, and and that's how you will grow.
हम्म
वो बोलते हैं ना कि पुराना चावल ज्यादा खुलता है.
हाँ
So you
वाओ
you need to be little patient.
सर
And
आपने स्टार्टिंग में सोचा था कि मैं इतने बड़े कंपनी का हेड सीएस बनूंगा
honestly नहीं सोचा था. But even when I joined TechM, मुझे भी पता नहीं था कि मैं इतने साल रहूंगा यहाँ पर.
हाँ
But you know the way the management is, the way they treat you,
हम्म
the way the team is there, all that helps.
हम्म
So after a certain stage, you raised a very good pointer. लोगों को पैसा भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लगता है कि अरे मेरे को वहां पर 1 लाख रुपए सैलरी ज्यादा मिल रहा है.
हाँ
बट इज दैट द ओनली थिंग? आर यू लर्निंग समथिंग? आर यू नो ग्रोइंग? आर यू बिकमिंग मोर कॉन्फिडेंट? पैसा तो आएगा ही, इट विल कम, बट यू लर्न द स्किल्स, and that is going to stay with you. Like
हम्म
they say na, love your job, not the company. If you know your job well, there will be several companies, but if you don't
हम्म
know the job, अभी की कंपनी भी चली जाएंगी.
हम्म
So that is important.
मतलब पैसा अपने मेंटल हेल्थ के स्टेक पे लेके मत तुम लोग चले जाओ
Absolutely.
जो कंपनी तुम्हें अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट दे रही है ऑल्दो थोड़ा पैसा कम है बट आई थिंक दैट्स गुड फॉर यू
Yeah,
इंस्टेड ऑफ सिलेक्टिंग अ कंपनी व्हिच ब्रिंग्स डाउन योर मेंटल हेल्थ एंड
absolutely.
पेज यू मोर ऑल्सो सर टेक महिंद्रा आपने जैसे मेंशन किया 100 कंट्रीज में काम करती है अलग अलग कंट्री का अलग अलग रूल अलग अलग लॉ सो आप इतना सारा कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कैसे मैनेज करते थे बिकॉज यहाँ पे तो एक कंट्री का लॉ ही मैनेज नहीं हो पा रहा है तो आप यंगर सीएस को क्या एडवाइस देना चाहोगे
So all I would say is that don't get bogged down with new regulations, new laws, or new processes.
ओके
If you want to expand, you have to cross the horizons. For a tech company which has 90-95% of their business coming from overseas, so you need to have entities and presence in across the globe countries, different continents.
हम्म
So those challenges are different. Like you will have local laws different what you have
हम्म
here. That is one. The processes may be different. The culture may be different in those countries, and obviously the compliance may be a little different. Like if you go to US, it is a bit easy. In a week's time you can open or close an entity,
हाँ
and everything is fixed. Europe and UK is more like India, because Britishers were with
हम्म
us for 200 odd years, so our laws and theirs are similar. But if you go to Africa or Middle East, the systems and processes are slow. So
स्लोअर देन इंडिया
yes, and they have their own reasons, complexities. So one has to learn that as well, that how you can overcome all this. And at the end of the day, having your presence in multiple countries also has so many risks for the company as well, that
ऑब्वियसली
it if you do certain non-compliance, for whatever reason it happens, uh, the company may be in the newspapers, and that will affect your brand, your
रेपुटेशनल
goodwill,
लॉस
and the
पेनल्टी
management. Yeah. And these days, so as you know, penalties are to be reported to the stock exchanges.
वाओ
So it becomes open secret for all. So one has to be, mindful of all this. But it's challenging, and more importantly, I will say, you should have a compliance process set up for if you are in multiple countries. So then the things would be easier.
मतलब हर एक चीज का एसओपी होना चाहिए
Yeah,
दैट हाउ विल थिंग्स ऑपरेट
yeah. SOP in letter and spirit.
या
हाँ, खाली SOPs मैंने बहुत बार देखा है कि those are made, and
लेफ्ट
after the project the person looks into those ki what are the things we missed. But it should not be like that. It should be step to step. It should be watched and adhered to.
ओके And sir, what do you think that networking helps our CS community? What role does networking plays?
Networking is very very important, I would say.
एक इंट्रोवर्ट इंसान क्या करे सर जो नेटवर्किंग नहीं कर?
Yeah. See, introvert ho ya extrovert ho, when you go to, say for example, if you're going to Mumbai, you have to go for stock exchange or SEBI or some compliance, or even visiting the ROCs. Abhi to kam ho gaya visit ROC ka, everything is online. But when you go there, and if you have say 1 hour, half an hour free time hai, why don't a person go to stock exchange to see the officer there who's handling your company, suppose a listed company, to see the officer, to say hello, that how can I help you? If some shareholder comes to you, this is my connect.
Oh.
And similarly with SEBI, similarly with ROC, and similarly that can be done with your auditors, that can be done with your consultants, that can be done with the cross functions. Then even the superiors or cross function, cross companies, I would say. So networking is very important. So otherwise what will happen, you will be only writing. Olden days we used to write chittis, now you will write mails and wait for the reply.
Oh.
Apply, no reply. So but if you have networking, you can pick up the phone ki boss mera ye difficulty hai, can you help? And I'm sure there people are ready to help. It's who goes first.
Connect.
Yes. So networking is very very important. And as I said earlier, like networking with shareholders, networking with your
Auditors.
auditors,
SEBI.
networking with FIS, networking with your proxy advisors, which is also very important these days. So all this is without networking, nothing happens. And for that matter, like for rationalization of entities, I mentioned, you have to work with so many people. I'll just give an example of networking in rationalization of entities. What we do is in rationalization of entities, if certain entities which is acquired is defunct, or it is a duplication of efforts, or it is you have more than one entity in a country, in a city, in a geography, you like to merge it. So but like opening is difficult, closing is equally difficult. So for that you will be getting in touch with your tax team. When I close it, will there be any capital gain or other impact,
Goodwill,
tax impact? You have to network with or connect with your finance team, accounts team. You have to connect with your legal team, that what are the compliances we'll have to do in that geography. You will have to network with the business folks, because हर business लीडर को ये लगता है कि मेरा एंटिटी क्यों क्लोज हो रहा है, मैं तो अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, मेरा तो 10 million का डील आ रहा है यहाँ पर. So how you convince them, how you structure your contracts in the new entity or in the existing entity, and merge it accordingly. Then when you close the entity, sometimes there are losses. So how you can set off those losses, net operating loss jo, and make a gain out of it for the company. You will pay less tax in US or in UK or in Europe or wherever you are, or even in India for that matter. So there is multiple networking which happens. HR is like सब हो गया, और अगर एम्प्लॉय का existing employee, if they don't have the surety that where they will be placed, what will be the structure, so all that is important. And if you are in a overseas company, there the labor laws are very strict, employee friendly hote hain. So lot of things has to be seen. So networking is the number one key, I will say. For and also one should have connects with the industry leaders. Like I am of Tech M, I will have connect with say Infi, or with my parent company Mahindras, or with Wipro, TCS. So it becomes easy कि boss आप लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, मेरा ये difficulty है. While you will refer the laws and provisions and all, there's no to go in that, you have to. But if you have a different set of ideas coming, an approach coming, life becomes easier. So networking is a key.
बट सर बच्चों को पता नहीं नेटवर्किंग कैसे करें.
So networking, as I said, काम करेंगे, मल्टीपल लोगों से मिलेंगे, वो एक होगा। दूसरा, व्हेन यू अटेंड कॉन्फ्रेंसेस,
कॉन्फ्रेंसेस।
तो वहां पर बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं, सीनियर प्रोफेशनल्स आते हैं, सीनियर कंसल्टेंट्स आते हैं, मीट देम and have a talk with them what they do. And as I said earlier, जब काम है तभी कनेक्ट में रहो ऐसा नहीं है. Once in a while get in touch with them कि sir I'm doing this, so am I doing on the right track? So that rapport is built up.
Got it.
And some people like auditors के साथ कनेक्ट रखना. Many people say कि अरे ऑडिट तो हमेशा कुछ नुक्स निकालते रहते हैं. But
सच है ये तो.
but to be honest, I feel कि they are helping you and the company, that this you have done 95 things right, ये 5 चीज थोड़ी weak है, so how we can strengthen it, to talk to them कि ठीक है, these 5 things are not as you feel. If you are able to convince them कि no it is fine, but if it is not, then how we can improvise. And if you have that connect, your auditors will become your friends.
सर ऐसा होता है कि ऑडिटर फ्रेंड बन जाए?
होता है, मेरे साथ तो हुआ है.
वाओ.
I don't have a single person who has negative things.
Oh,
I see everybody has some positivity.
that's the aura you have, sir, कि आप कर
और हर
पा
कोई कर सकता है, आप भी कर रही है, आप जैसे ये बच्चों के लिए ये पॉडकास्ट कर रही है, so that is again help them to learn so many things.
That's true, sir. That's true. So, sir, just one last question from you. That जाते जाते दिसंबर में बच्चों की एग्जाम्स हैं. दिस दिसंबर. ऑल्सो सर, मैं सब कुछ जानना चाहती हूँ आपसे और मेरे ऑडियंस के लिए भी. तो जो ऑडियंस है हमारी सीएस स्टूडेंट्स, वो आगे जाके लिस्टेड कंपनी में काम करेगी, बिल्कुल करेगी. तो प्रॉक्सी एडवाइजर एक है जो आजकल ना बहुत ट्रेंडिंग चल रहा है, बट नहीं पता ये क्या होता है, क्या टर्म है, अच्छे से नहीं पता. तो आप क्या एडवाइस करना चाहोगे कि बच्चों को कि क्या टेक केयर करना चाहिए प्रॉक्सी एडवाइजर को लेके?
So to explain what is proxy advisory, what the FIs and the institutional investors, they go whenever a company has AGM or EGM, and you would have a set of resolutions to be approved by the shareholders.
Correct.
E-voting hota hai. Earlier physical AGM mein there was not much challenge, but now e-voting hai, so you have lot of challenges because across the globe people are voting. So these FIs and institutional investors, they go by the advice of the proxy advisory, that how you will vote. They analyze your notice, the explanatory statement in total. They see the history of the company, the directors, if they are getting reappointed, where are they right now, how much time they are devoting or not devoting, how many meetings they have attended, not attended, and the likes. For example, ESOP का resolutions है, coming up with a new ESOP scheme. So whether it is market linked rate पर आप grant कर रहे हैं, or you are giving a deep discount, proxy advisories will not like to have any ESOP granted more than 20% discount. So, but then it's a need of the business as well. कि certain set of people to retain, you will have to make grants. So how do you do it? So the thing is that we have to connect with the proxy advisory and ask them ki what disclosures, maximum disclosures we cover in our AGM notice, EGM notice, explanatory statement, which will give comfort to the investors that okay, as per the proxy advisory, these are 1, 2, 3 negatives, because their way of looking are little more stringent. So, but if you give lots of disclosures, it will help the investors to take a a rational call on their own, that in spite of the proxy advisory's advice of going for a negative vote, they can still vote positively. Like these days, why I'm saying proxy advisory is more important, the reason is that many resolutions for appointment of independent directors got defeated.
Is it?
And in the same group also it has happened. In a month, if the same person is getting appointed in 4 or 5 companies or 3 companies, two of the companies got approved and one company got defeated. Why it can be? So one is that the connect with the investors was somewhere weak. Two is the proxy advisories disclosures may not be there. Third is there is some misunderstanding in the investor's mind that due to this may happen. So all this needs to be discussed and sorted out, and proxy advisory से connect is very important.
ओह, हर चीज का सोल्यूशन कनेक्शन है,
Yes,
नेटवर्किंग है।
networking है.
ओह, मतलब ये एक नया सीक्रेट मैं बोल, मतलब इन द सेंस कि नया ट्रेंडिंग टॉपिक चलने वाला है एंड
हाँ.
उसका सोल्यूशन भी ये है
Yeah.
कि अच्छा कनेक्शन हमें बनाना चाहिए।
Connection and improve your processes and systems accordingly. खाली connection से काम नहीं
हाँ,
चलेगा.
डेफिनेटली।
Systems and processes and compliance of law to the best extent possible.
ओके, बट सर बस जाते जाते एक क्वेश्चन की, जो बच्चे हैं मेजरली दिसंबर जून में अपने अटेम्प्ट देंगे, तो बच्चे हैं वो लोग अभी आगे जाके सीएस बनेंगे, आप उन्हें वन पीस ऑफ एडवाइस कुछ देना चाहते हैं?
So मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि don't ever feel that मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा या मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी. Anybody and everybody can do CS. कंसिस्टेंसी होनी चाहिए, परसिवरेंस होनी चाहिए, थोड़ा टाइम भी लग सकता है. इवन इफ द कोर्स कंटेंट हैज चेंज, मॉड्यूल हैज चेंज, या किसी को कुछ ज्यादा अटेम्प्ट लगे तो मे बी सम पैटर्न हैज चेंज. डोंट गेट शेकन. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आप सीएस है और सीएस का एक ग्रुप बाकी है, उसमें बहुत फर्क है. द मोमेंट यू हैव डिग्री, it's a different class. And if you don't, we are not able, quitting is very easy, but they say na never to quit.
हाँ,
Give your
winners
best,
never quit.
give your best.
Yeah, so wonderful advice sir. Thank you so much for this amazing podcast and we are very grateful कि आप इस चैनल पर आए और हमारे बच्चों को गाइड किया इतने अच्छे से. Thank you sir.
My pleasure. It has been really a good interaction and talking with you, and so many things which I never thought that this ये ऐसे भी questions आ सकते हैं and which are natural. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much sir. Thank you.
Thanks.